Hi everyone, today is a special video on the Navy working uniform. This blouse was given to me by my best friend, Sadie Kroupa, a US Navy veteran. In the Navy, Sadie's official name was HM2 Kroupa. Now let's get into the history of the Navy working uniform, NWU Type 1. According to the US Department of Defense, this uniform was introduced in 2007, replacing the old dungarees. Now, what's interesting about this camouflage is it was never meant to blend in with anything. It was actually made by the US Navy to represent the Navy's pride and to also make it easier to hide stains. The specific digital color, it's actually from the United States Marines. They created the MyPat, which is the same digital thing, it's just different colors. But the Navy just recolored it so that it had different shades of blue. So you had like dark blue, black, and I think this is kind of like a very light, it looks white, but it's actually like a very light grayish blue. It also features the Navy Ace, which is the anchor, the USS Constitution, and the Eagle. Yeah, there we go. And yeah, this uniform, it wasn't really made for blending in with anything. It was just so that it kind of shows that, hey, we're the Navy. Now, the problem with this uniform is, well, there's actually a couple of them, but for one, it's the color of blue. As you can see, if a sailor were to, if they were to go overboard, they would actually blend in very well with the water, which is a huge problem if you're out in the ocean and you happen to go overboard. It would be extremely difficult for helicopters to see you since you blend in perfectly with the water. Now, another reason why there was another problem with this uniform is because the material that this uniform is made from is actually very flammable. Yeah, they figured that out after a few years for testing. I think this is like a 50-50 nylon and cotton, but the way that they wove in the fabric and just the different types of dye they used, it's actually flammable. So yeah, the US Navy had to issue a new uniform, which is the coveralls, which is like basically a one-piece suit that was non-flammable. And this uniform basically became more of a, I would say, like on-ship / land kind of uniform. And oh, I forgot to mention, this uniform had a pretty cool nicknames from the sailors. Some of them would call these the blueberries, and others would call it aquaflage, but I haven't really heard anyone use that one. Mostly I've heard people say blueberries. So here is a close-up of the Navy working uniform Type 1. As you can see, it's basically the same as the US Marines MyPat and the US Army's ACUs. It's the same digital pattern. The only difference is obviously the blue color and then the Navy Ace that they put there, just so that you can identify as, a US Navy. But there's something that they also did. Let me see if I can find one right here. Kind of like what the Marines did with their uniform, the US Navy put the Ace, like little prints throughout this uniform. You can find them, throughout the digital, like one right here, which is a pretty cool little thing that they put on there. And yeah, it features, I would say these are shoulder pockets. It has only pockets on the chest. There are no pockets on the bottom. And it also features, these are called reinforcements, on the stress areas like the elbow. I don't have the trousers, unfortunately, but those trousers have the same thing. They have like a reinforcement on the knees. But yeah, unlike the Army's ACUs, the Navy did not have a Mandarin style collar. This is just a regular collar, like, just like a normal one that you find on most uniforms. The Navy working uniform was actually very short-lived. It was only around, I would say, 2007, and was completely phased out by September 2019. And got replaced by the Navy Working Uniform 2 and the Navy Working Uniform 3. I want to give a special thanks to my best friend Sadie Thank you so much for giving me your blouse and letting me do a video on it. I hope you enjoyed it as I tried to do as much research as I could on the Navy working uniform. Thank you all for watching.